What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Today we're talking about more of the Mercado and the different moves that Juventus could and could not make out there right now. Fagioli? Maybe an option that a couple teams are interested in, but does Juve have different plans for his future? As well as now, Juventus may have to go head-to-head against somebody for the services of Big Z. I know a lot of you guys are nervous about that. As well as Milinkovic Savic news. We'll break it all down in today's episode. Stick with us. We'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today it's Monday, April 18th, 2022, and of course I've got your latest rundown of all things Juventus, all the news that you care about each and every day as quickly as possible to get you in and out and about your day. They're stuttering there a little bit. If you guys don't mind, please go ahead and smash that like button right now. I can't emphasize this enough. Hitting that like button really does help our channel to continue to grow, and with all the algorithm and all the nonsense that goes along with that, it's free. Just please hit that like button right now. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, as well as hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. Now let's just dive into it. What news do we have for you today? Well, we'll start off with Milinkovic Savic once again, as we have, it seems, so many times in the last week and a half or so. Tuna Mercado Web are reporting that Milinkovic's Juve, the love is reciprocated. The Serbian midfielder would have been in the Bianconeri, the Bianconeri's preferred destination. The obstacle is the price tag. So, of course, I mean, nothing really new here that we're, surprised of. Obviously, he would love to come to Juventus because of different reasons we've told you before. His brother's living in Turin as well as, of course, it's Juventus. Of course, he'd want to go there. They've had flirtations over the years, if you will, before he decided to, for some reason, re-up with Lazio for a while. Again, the price tag, 70 million euros, is pretty hefty for a player of his. I mean, of his caliber, he's good caliber. Obviously, great caliber. If you can get him in the midfield, the problem is Tito, all the options there trying to negotiate with him. Let's continue. This is the second half to this, really, though. And Calcio Mercado is reporting saying that Savic remains the #1 target, with agent talks already taking place. Juventus want to lower the demands by including a player. So if there's somewhere that they could actually use a player that Juventus has, that'd be an awesome option to probably bring in a player of this quality. Going off of that, Maurizio Sarri would hold Nicolo Ravella in high esteem and is considered bringing him to Lazio next season. He has also been impressed by the growth of Fagioli. However, Juve want to renew his contract. Now, this is the interesting part. Obviously, I know Maurizio Sarri also likes Rugani, if you will, but we'll see if, that would even be an option that would even interest him, especially when you're looking at a midfield player like Milinkovic Savic. You want to try to replace... Obviously, no offense to those guys who are Juve players, but they're not going to end up replacing the capability that Milinkovic Savic has out there on the field. Nicola Ravella, I think we talked about it too the last week or two, basically being Juve are going to have one of those players, either Ravella or Fagioli. Now it seems with the latest reports that Fagioli, for some reason, I'm going to say for some reason, I know a lot of people are high on Fagioli. But Juve want to renew his contract. They want to keep him as a Juventus player. This almost kind of surprises me a little bit, especially if they don't have any long-term plans for him. I would hope that this means that they have long-term plans for him playing in the midfield. I know a lot of people are high on him, but at the same time, the feeling that I was kind of getting from Juventus overall the last, few weeks to a month or so was basically that they kind of viewed as like Fagioli has had opportunities to showcase what he can do, that they're not really bought in to the belief that Fagioli could be a long-term player or a real solid first-team player in the midfield for Juventus. So maybe this is showing a changing of the tides of the feeling when it comes to Fagioli and his future. A little bit more surprised, not really more surprised. Obviously, people are interested in Nicolo Ravella. Ravella is going to be a solid player. I think definitely a solid Italian player. I wonder how likely or how keen Juventus would be to utilize him in the sale, if he'll be the option that ends up going over there. Obviously, if you're high on Milinkovic Savic, you know that he's a really good player and what he brings to the table, and it definitely would be. This is a situation that I think would be worth utilizing Ravella in the situation, but it still would be. It would be one of those gamble losses if you ended up losing Rovella, because you think about the players that have Spinazzola, players like that that have ended up looking good after Juventus. Obviously, Spinazzola has the injury issues that continue to nag him, but it would be unfortunate if you end up losing out on that. All right, let's continue there. Next, we're going to talk about some competition that Juve have for bringing Big Z into the club. And I know it's going to make a lot of you nervous because a lot of you are hype on the Big Z train right there with me. Here we go. All right, Gazzetta dello Sport's reporting that Milan's interest in Zaniolo is taking shape. Roma have asked for 60 million euros, but it remains to be seen whether the Rossoneri will go beyond 40 million euros. Funny how it was higher for Juventus, right? It was 70 million for Juventus, and then they came down to 50, and now they're starting at 60 for Milan. It's almost like there's a different level per club. If it's Juventus, we're gonna go as high as possible, then we'll come down. If it's Milan, we'll go a little bit high, but not all the way. We're not gonna use that for Milan. We're not gonna do that to them. Anyway, I think the 40 million euros is it's still probably a little much if you're looking at the time he has left on his contract and everything. I'd still think Zaniolo a reasonable amount would be about 30, 35 probably to end up purchasing him for, and I think that's probably what they'll end up getting. 40 million euros still seems to be a little bit hefty. So maybe they end up coming up with that, but now that's something to keep an eye on. I know there's very few of you out there with me. I'm kidding when I say this stuff, but definitely if you're interested in Zaniolo coming to Juventus, or if you just want to keep an eye on that, or if you're rooting against him coming, which it seems that there are some of those out there, that you can keep an eye on Milan and see what kind of moves are made there with Milan potentially trying to bring in the services of Big Z. All right, let's continue on. The next story we have here, talking about the youth a little bit, about a youth option that Juventus have out there. Tutto Juve reporting that Juventus are looking at Malo Gusto, a 2003 class right back from Lyon. The Bianconeri could be in competition with Atletico Madrid. So there's just another option that Juventus could look at the right back position. Obviously, we'll see how that ends up factoring in to the likes of with Sheiller's renewal, because it seems like he's getting renewed. Obviously, you're going to need more players because we see how it all gets depleted over time. But it just seems to be a serious option that could end up playing for the first team, or how that will end up playing out. I know I'm sure somebody out there will ask, have you heard anything about Aouar, since we're talking about Lyon? But no, we have not heard anything about Aouar. All right, let's continue. And it's actually the last news story of the day, which is about Artur Melo. Tutto Sports reporting saying that Artur's condition is improving and he will undergo tests tomorrow to see if he can be included in the squad to face Fiorentina on Wednesday. So some good news for Juventus. Obviously, I know Artur has different people feel differently about Artur. I think he brings some solid things. It's just he's a slower player. He's a slower option. But right now with the midfield and the midfield situation, injuries, we don't need to see more Rabiot. Whatever the lineup was the other day, we don't need more of that. Rabiot, Cuadrado, and why am I blanking on who was in the middle there? Anyway, we don't need to see more of that. What we need more is more players like Locatelli, Zakaria, Artur, even in the circumstance right now. So anyway, hopefully they'll get back on track. Hopefully health will be okay, and then hopefully this midfield can do something. I mean, it's the last trophy Juventus really can win now at this point, if we're being honest. Things could fall apart for everybody in the Serie A, and Juventus can miraculously win every single game. And that could happen to end up winning the Serie A, but let's be honest, it's probably not going to happen. 99.9% chance not going to happen. So the last real chance at getting a trophy is this circumstance right here, winning the Coppa Italia, proceeding from Fiorentina to the championship match in the Coppa Italia and winning that to bring home a trophy on the season. Otherwise, regardless of how you feel about the coaching, there's a really good argument that it would be a failure if you don't bring one trophy home this season, first one in a long time. So we'll see how that plays out. Right now, it's really survive in advance, get to the end of the season, focus on the Mercado, and focus on next season with a revamped team. Guys who can actually help Vlahovic, and if Morata still stays and like that, and help them score. Probably seeing Artur Melo leaving, but seeing guys like Milinkovic Savic, Zaniolo even, to come in as well. We'll see how that ends up panning out in the long run. Anyway, guys, that'll do it for today's show. That's the news we have for you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you like the names that are floated out there? Do you like the idea that Zaniolo may potentially be courted over there by the Rossoneri instead of Juventus as well? Leave it all in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. If you haven't already, also make sure you follow Bianconerizone at Bianconerizone, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, as well as follow me at Justin Sofro on Twitter as well. I'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.